In the serene, upscale neighborhood of Oakwood Drive in Seattle, Washington, the peaceful facade was shattered on October 12, 2022. Police cordoned off a house that concealed a grim reality, one that would unravel into a tale of deception, betrayal, and murder. The unfolding story left many questioning the depths of human nature and the secrets that lie within even the closest relationships. The victim, identified as businessman Michael Lee, was found lifeless in his study, with signs of foul play evident from the beginning. As detectives delved deeper into Michael's personal and professional life, they uncovered a web of duplicity involving his closest associates and family members. Suspicion fell on his business partner, who seemed poised to gain both personally and professionally from Michael's demise. Furthermore, tensions between Michael and his estranged wife, who had been embroiled in a bitter divorce, added another layer of complexity to the investigation. Each new revelation painted a picture of a man surrounded by people who all had something to gain or lose by his sudden departure. Ethan and Sophia Patel were once the epitome of a perfect couple. In 2015, Ethan, at 30, was making a name for himself as a tech entrepreneur, thriving under the pressure of high-stakes decisions. Sophia, then 28, was a successful marketing executive known for her charm and ability to close deals. Their lives, from luxurious dinners to elegant soirees, painted a picture of success and happiness. However, beneath this image of marital bliss, cracks were beginning to surface. By the time Michael's murder took place in 2022, Ethan and Sophia were living almost separate lives, each pursuing their own ambitions and interests with little regard for the other. Their once vibrant marriage had turned cold, and whispers of infidelity began to circulate among their circle of friends. Sophia, in particular, had become increasingly involved in her work, often traveling for weeks at a time under the guise of expanding her business. This nomadic lifestyle left Ethan feeling neglected and suspicious of her intentions. On the other hand, Ethan's own professional pressures had taken a toll on his mental health, making him irritable and withdrawn. Friends noted that despite their apparent success, both Ethan and Sophia seemed to be suffocated by the very world they had craved. As the investigation into Michael's death progressed, detectives started to explore the social circles that intertwined Ethan's and Sophia's lives with Michael's. It was here that the real complexity of the relationships became apparent. Secrets long hidden began to come to light, suggesting that the ties between the Lee and Patel families were more tangled than initially believed. What emerged was a network of dealings and secrets that hinted at motivations far beyond simple avarice. Each connection added another layer to the mystery, leaving investigators to wonder who stood to gain the most from Michael's untimely death. Living in the affluent neighborhood of Oakwood Drive, their home was a testament to their accomplishments. It was a place where they hosted glamorous parties, drawing admiration from their social circle. Yet beneath the surface, there were cracks that only time and circumstance would reveal. Ethan's younger brother, Julian, was often a guest at their home. At 24, he was an aspiring musician with a carefree spirit that contrasted sharply with Ethan's driven nature. Julian's optimism and spontaneity allowed him to chase his dreams, even when success seemed elusive. His presence added a spark to the Patel household, bringing a refreshing change from the regimented lifestyle of his brother. Julian's unique perspective on life often provided the Patels with a momentary escape from their troubles, offering them a glimpse into a world driven by passion rather than obligation. However, it wasn't long before Julian's carefree approach began to expose deeper fractures within the family dynamic. Ethan's envy towards Julian's unfettered lifestyle grew increasingly apparent, casting shadows over their sibling bond. Meanwhile, Sophia found herself drawn to Julian's creativity, leading her to question her own life's trajectory. As the investigation into Michael's murder continued, Julian's name emerged unexpectedly in connection to several individuals within Michael's circle. His frequent visits to the Patel home now seemed less about family and more about proximity to influence and opportunity. Detectives dug deeper into his network, connecting him to several key figures in Michael's business dealings. While Julian's involvement initially seemed benign, the complexity of relationships and potential motives surrounding Michael's death suggested otherwise. The question that lingered in everyone's mind was whether Julian was simply a charming musician with a knack for being in the right place at the right time, or whether his laid-back demeanor masked more calculating intentions. Each interaction, each coincidence, was scrutinized, further entangling the web of deceit that had engulfed Oakwood Drive. Initially, Sophia and Julian's relationship was nothing more than friendly chatter about music and life. However, as they spent more time together, their bond deepened into something more intimate. By 2015, their connection had evolved beyond friendship, blossoming into a passionate affair that they both knew was dangerous but irresistible. Sophia and Julian's secret affair was a thrilling escape from their respective realities. Their meetings were clandestine, taking place in secluded spots or hidden within the city's bustling anonymity. They exchanged coded messages, careful to keep their secret from Ethan, whose long hours at work provided the perfect cover for their encounters. Despite the risks, Sophia and Julian found comfort and excitement in each other's presence, filling the voids left by their routine lives. Their affair, however, was not without its complications. As they navigated the complexities of their emotions and loyalties, anxiety began to seep in. The tension between what felt right and the looming consequences of their actions weighed heavily on both of them. Sophia felt torn.
Sophia found herself torn between two worlds: the stability and respect of her life with Ethan, and the passion and promise of a future with Julian. By 2016, the strain of their affair started to show. Sophia became distant, paranoid about being discovered, while Julian grew frustrated with living in the shadows. As the affair reached its boiling point, it was clear to both Sophia and Julian that they could no longer sustain the secrecy and deception. The internal conflict and external pressures were pushing them towards an inevitable confrontation. It was during this turbulent period that an anonymous tip reached the detectives handling Michael's murder case. The tip hinted at a potential motive linked to jealousy and betrayal, leading them to question both Sophia and Julian more intensely. Simultaneously, Sophia's guilt began to erode her resolve as she pondered the consequences of her divided loyalties. Her heart ached with the realization that her actions could unravel the lives of everyone involved. Julian, though equally burdened by the situation, saw the investigation as a chance to start anew, free from the weight of deception. Yet, the uncertainty of the future loomed large, casting doubt over every decision. The tension came to a head one fateful night, when Ethan returned home earlier than expected, catching a whispered conversation between Sophia and Julian. The confrontation that ensued was fraught with raw emotion, exposing the truth of the affair Ethan had long suspected, but refused to acknowledge. Shocked and devastated, Ethan's world crumbled as the betrayal intertwined with the mystery of Michael's death. As police sirens echoed in the distance, their tangled lives were on the brink of unraveling, teetering on the edge of revelation and ruin. In late 2021, Ethan's suspicions about Julian's frequent visits grew. Subtle changes in Sophia's behavior, secretive phone calls, late-night meetings, deepened his doubts. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan hired a private investigator to follow Sophia. On October 15th, 2022, Ethan received undeniable evidence of Sophia's affair with Julian. A folder filled with photographs and text messages confirmed his worst fears. Consumed by rage and betrayal, Ethan devised a plan to exact revenge on both Sophia and Julian.
Ethan's meticulous nature served him well as he crafted a calculated plot to murder Sophia and frame Julian for the crime. He began by collecting Julian's personal items, planting them at the scene to implicate him. With a chilling resolve, Ethan manipulated digital correspondence between Sophia and Julian, fabricating a narrative of conflict. His scheme extended to altering their bank transactions, suggesting financial entanglements that would further incriminate Julian. By creating a web of deceit, Ethan intended to erase Sophia from his life and ensure Julian paid the ultimate price for his betrayal. As Ethan's plan progressed, he meticulously timed each step, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Meanwhile, Sophia remained oblivious to the brewing storm, wrapped in her guilt and the tense dynamics with Julian. She overlooked subtle clues of Ethan's suspicions, misinterpreting his silence as disinterest. Unbeknownst to her, the net was closing in. On a quiet evening in October, Ethan set his plan into motion. He invited Sophia to their secluded cabin under the guise of reconciliation, promising to work on their fractured marriage. Sophia hesitantly agreed, hoping it was a step towards mending the life she once cherished. However, as dusk fell over the cabin, the atmosphere grew increasingly charged with Ethan's simmering animosity. Hours later, with adrenaline coursing through him, Ethan executed his plan, brutally confronting Sophia about the betrayal before delivering a fatal blow. The scene was horrific, yet meticulously constructed to weave a tale of passion turned deadly between Sophia and Julian. As Ethan fled into the night, he placed a call to the police, feigning shock and sadness over the tragedy that had unfolded. When the authorities arrived, they encountered a crime scene seemingly pointing to Julian, ensnaring him in a trap born of jealousy and revenge. In the days that followed, the community grappled with the shocking narrative painted by Ethan, unaware that the truth was far more sinister. In his quest for vengeance, Ethan's actions not only shattered lives, but ultimately left a haunting legacy that would hang over the town for years to come. On the evening of October 15th, 2022, Ethan executed his plan. He invited Sophia to their home, offering her a glass of wine laced with a sedative. Once she was unconscious, Ethan staged the scene in their garage to resemble a violent struggle. He planted a guitar pick and a knife belonging to Julian, ensuring the evidence pointed to Julian as the perpetrator. The following morning, Ethan called the police, feigning shock as he reported Sophia's murder. The evidence, meticulously arranged, led investigators to issue a warrant for Julian's arrest. Julian was arrested, bewildered by the accusations against him. Despite his protests of innocence, the evidence appeared insurmountable. However, as the investigation progressed, detectives noticed inconsistencies in Ethan's account. His calm demeanor and cooperative nature raised suspicions, prompting further scrutiny. As the detectives delved deeper, they uncovered small yet significant flaws in the supposed airtight case against Julian. Surveillance footage revealed Ethan purchasing the exact model of knife found at the scene just days before the murder, adding an unexpected twist. Simultaneously, analysis of digital records unveiled initial traces of email tampering, hinting at a fabricated conflict between Sophia and Julian. Feeling the noose of guilt tightening around him, Ethan began to buckle under the mounting pressure. His once flawless narrative crumbled when a crucial witness emerged, a neighbor who remembered a parked car by the cabin, not belonging to Julian, on the night Sophia was murdered. This revelation cracked the case wide open, providing the lead detectives needed to re-evaluate the true nature of Sophia's tragic demise. Ethan, cornered and faced with irrefutable evidence against him, eventually confessed, revealing the depth of his manipulation and deceit. In the aftermath, as Julian's name was cleared, the small town struggled to reconcile with the dark reality beneath their once trusted neighbor's facade. In mid-October, investigators uncovered surveillance footage showing Ethan's car leaving the house on multiple occasions, contradicting his alibi. A search of Ethan's office revealed internet searches related to framing someone for murder, while a box of incriminating items was discovered in his garage. Armed with this new evidence, detectives arrested Ethan on November 10, 2022. He was charged with the murder of Sophia and the attempted framing of Julian. The trial that followed captivated public attention as the prosecution meticulously laid out Ethan's chilling plan. Julian, now exonerated, testified about his relationship with Sophia and the events leading to her death. The trial exposed the depths of Ethan's betrayal and the lengths he went to manipulate those around him.
On December 15, 2022, Ethan was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The verdict brought some closure to a family torn apart by secrets and deceit. For Julian, the ordeal left scars that would take years to heal. Reflections on betrayal. The Patel's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of how quickly seemingly perfect lives can unravel. It raises questions about trust, betrayal, and the dark corners of the human psyche. How could a man be driven to such extremes? Was it the corrosive power of jealousy or a twisted desire for control? The community was shocked and saddened by the revelation of Ethan's crimes. Many struggled to reconcile the friendly, charming neighbor they thought they knew with the calculating, ruthless individual who had committed such a heinous act. As the truth came to light, the community came together to support Julian and Sophia's family, offering a sense of solidarity and healing. The case served as a stark reminder of the importance of trust, communication, and empathy in relationships, and the devastating consequences that can result when these values are betrayed.
The shocking revelations surrounding Sophia's murder left an indelible mark on the community. Dismayed and horrified, residents struggled to reconcile their memories of Ethan, a man many considered a friend, with the monstrous truths that emerged during the trial. Community gatherings buzzed with discussions of the betrayal, and local support groups saw increased participation as people sought solace and understanding in the aftermath of tragedy. In the months that followed, conversations shifted from incredulity to introspection. Could they have seen the warning signs? Were there moments when Ethan's facade cracked, revealing glimpses of his darker nature? The tragedy prompted many to re-examine their relationships, considering the unseen complexities that may lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. Schools and community organizations began offering workshops on mental health, aiming to foster awareness and encourage open dialogues about emotional well-being and conflict resolution. This effort was spurred by a determination to prevent such a tragedy from occurring again, and while the healing process would be slow, it laid the foundation for a more vigilant, compassionate community. In the end, the tale of Sophia, Ethan, and Julian Patel leaves us pondering the boundaries of love and the consequences of deceit. It's a story that reminds us of the fragility of human relationships and the hidden complexities that lie beneath the surface of everyday life. Subscribe to our newsletter for more stories that explore the depths of human nature and the shadows of the human soul.